Welcome to Shoujo, the podcast where I, Sarah, introduce my good friend Joe to the shoujo anime genre about girls and romance typically, although for our first series, we've decided with intention, of course, to cover Angelic Layer so that Joe can have some time to transition into the genre of shoujo since it's technically categorized as shonen, but we've decided to recategorize.
We decided to pick not a shoujo, so
in my mind, that's how it was categorized, and we're too far in. But
we're too far in.
Yes.
Well, no, I mean it's a good starting point. I mean it's going to be good juxtaposition of like, hey, what's different about this as opposed to stuff that's like actually in the genre.
I mean, even watching,
because it basically is in the genre.
I was going to say, as we're watching it, comparing it to other shonen, it certainly is different. I mean, you see like the aspects where they're trying to be more shonen, but I think in general it's still more of like a female audience kind of show.
Well, it's mostly just the context, right? It's just because like it's about these dolls fighting. Mm-hmm. But I mean, listen, women like shows where people fight.
That's right.
Everybody loves to watch a fight. Okay, fighting is in the soul of all of us.
That's right. Like at the Crunchyroll Awards, what was it? Megan Thee Stallion was. What'd she say? She was like,
oh yeah, she's dressed up like Gojo. She likes JJK.
You know what? It may be basic, but at least it's a big, giant public figure promoting anime.
Are you saying it's wait, hold on. Are you saying JJK is basic?
Yeah. Jujutsu Kaisen?
Yeah. You're saying it's basic, or are you just saying it's popular? I think those are two different things.
Both? I haven't seen season 2, so apparently shit goes down. But just based off the first season, I personally did not feel like it brought anything new. None of the characters were all that remarkable to me. Mm-hmm. So to me, it's a pretty just like basic.
Yeah, I mean, that's like your opinion. That's not like the consensus.
No,
you know
it's
what
not.
I mean?
No, people freaking love that show. The ending song is
yeah.
really catchy for season 1. I will say that.
Oh, we should have a conversation at some point about anime opinions because I also don't like JJK, but for different reasons.
Oh, really?
I was because I read the manga and like, oh man, you want to watch something spiral out of control forever in a way that makes no sense.
Oh, okay. I have not read the manga, but okay. Someday on a bonus episode, we'll tear it to pieces.
Someday I'll talk about my unpopular shonen opinions, like how I don't like this and how maybe Hunter x Hunter isn't that good, but you know.
Okay, Hunter x Hunter. Okay, we can't get into this. I was gonna say I do like that. It just feels more lighthearted, at least in the earlier seasons. Like it feels pure somehow.
Yeah, so I've only watched the earlier seasons, and yeah, okay, sure.
I mean, let's just say it can't be that good because at some point I got to what I thought was a filler arc, and I was like, "Ew, what is this?" And apparently that's canon.
We can't talk about this now.
No. Okay. But yes, I'm Sarah. Obviously, Joe.
Should we start with news?
Oh yeah. Okay. McDonald's.
That's the who you're gonna start with? The like shitty McDonald's ad campaign?
Yeah.
Have you seen any of this? What is this? I don't know what this is. People keep being like, oh, Joe, you'd like this. And I'm like, I don't.
I honestly haven't really seen much. Just I've seen like mention of it in news stuff, but I mean, it's just cool. I mean, along the vein of, you know, Megan Thee Stallion promoting anime and stuff, McDonald's getting on the anime bandwagon. I guess because...
I mean, anime's mainstream.
But like, it's nice to see that a corporation is acknowledging that it can be profitable and hopefully...
No. McDonald's can go to hell.
But the sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffin.
No.
It's so good.
I'm sorry. Your crimes against humanity are not forgiven, McDonald's.
Oh... Okay, could have fooled me.
No cutesy anime ad campaign is going to resolve you of your many numerous crimes.
Okay, never mind.
No, I'm kidding. It's
Other big anime news. The creator of Dragon Ball unfortunately passed, Akira Toriyama. I've only watched the first season of Dragon Ball, but that series is like a huge milestone in anime. And so many people of our age, that's the gateway anime that got them into it. So we appreciate that contribution.
Probably the first thing I ever saw was like Dragon Ball. Mm-hmm. You're like Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball, Speed Racer, or Sailor Moon. Those were like the 3 in the 90s.
You saw Speed Racer?
Yeah, I had cousins who had like Sailor Moon and Speed Racer like on VHS, the whole series.
Oh.
So I've seen a little bit of that. Okay, I guess that's a sports anime. I vaguely
Speed Racer?
remember it. I don't know. It's racing.
Yeah, but like, is it actually about racing? I thought it was about like some wacky adventures they got to
I
during
don't
races.
know. I so vaguely remember watching it. Okay, what news were you gonna mention?
Oh, that was the news I was going to mention.
Okay.
The Akira Toriyama news. But, you know, it's been really nice, at least, like, seeing a lot of people on
appreciating
Twitter, like, share stuff that was, like, inspirational for them. And I learned a lot of stuff. Like, I learned about Dr. Slump, and I learned about, I guess he made the slime from Dragon Quest, which is, like, extremely iconic, and did a lot of the designs for that.
Yeah, the same art style. I played a smidge of a Dragon Quest game.
Yeah. So, you know, he was 68. It's pretty young.
Yeah, I know.
Although, like, the working conditions for mangaka are really bad.
Stressful.
And, like, a lot of them have a lot of health problems because of... These are bad industries. These are bad industries to work in, is my understanding. I mean, I don't think that was necessarily related to Akira Toriyama. I think, you know, he had, like, a blood clot or something. However, other notable mangaka have died very young for things that seemed preventable. Industry bad.
One other... I mean, this isn't... Well, I guess technically it could be tied into anime, but Rooster Teeth is closing.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
And because they made Ruby, which is, I guess, anime.
Kind of an anime.
Inspired?
Anime adjacent.
Yeah, something notable.
How do you feel about it? Because I know that you, like... Because I stopped watching Rooster Teeth stuff, like, 10 years ago, and, like, a lot of the people that I was familiar with there kind of left, and now it's just, like, a...
Honestly, I'd watched a few seasons of Red vs. Blue, probably in high school. And then I think once I got out of college, I listened to their podcast, and that was pretty entertaining. Eventually, I fell off that, but my hairdresser, I mean, she's married to Jeff Ramsey. So, like, I've met him a few times, and Millie, and I told you I went to, like, their wedding thing, so I saw Gavin and Barbara and Michael and stuff. But I haven't, like, consumed... I guess I watched a little bit of Ruby as well. But I haven't been, like, an active consumer of their stuff much.
Yeah. From my understanding, like, I haven't really been keeping up with any of it. Like, something about, like, the production setup. It was a very troubled company.
There was, like, years ago, there's a huge layoff wave.
And also, they're owned by Warner Brothers, which means everything's going to hell. Because Warner Brothers is continuing their... Did you see that they announced that they're going to delist a bunch of, like, games off of Steam? I can't believe that, like, they're able to do... Like, they're already able to shelve movies that were completed to, like, write them off as a tax loss, right? Like, and they just haven't been, like, gotten away with this. It's bizarre to me that nobody has been able, like, regulatorily or anything. This is a bad trend. This is why you should get Blu-rays of everything and get physical media copies of stuff.
Thank God I have Angelic Layer on box set.
Yeah.
And Dinotopia on DVD.
Dinotopia?
Oh, God. Yeah, okay.
What is Dinotopia?
It was this mini series that I freaking love, and no one else seems to love it. Because it was, anything with dinosaurs on TV that doesn't have the budget of a movie, like the effects, yikes. I love it. My sister rolls her eyes every time I mention it. Because it's a mini series, but I would watch it in its entirety, which is 4 hours. Like, that's something they should do a reboot of. This thing that only I love.
Dinotopia.
I love it.
I mean, it'd
so
probably
much.
be better than these Jurassic Park remakes. They should just make one where you hang out on an island with the
Well, like to
dinosaurs.
see it. Yeah, I mean, because Jurassic Park's. I guess all like big movie dinosaurs have been in a aggressive, like attacking us way, not in a like, oh, what would it be like to live together with dinosaurs? So it'd be a different take. Jurassic World Dominion, atrocity. Like no one died in front of my eyes. Everyone should die.
Wait, that's why you're mad at it? Because nobody died on screen brutally?
Yeah.
Were you just saying you want the everybody hangs out with dinosaurs show?
I'm just saying that would be a different... I'm not saying that I don't like. I think my, nihilistic tendencies come from probably like listening to Ian Malcolm as a small child all the time. Humanity getting what's coming to it for messing with Mother Nature. I love that. I love it so much. So dinosaurs should be eating people in a world in which they've been set loose. Just saying.
The unjust world separated us from the dinosaurs so they can't eat the people I don't like.
Well, just anyone. We haven't really had any deaths.
Anyone?
Well, yeah, like there's
amoral dinosaur consumption.
Yeah, like, it's a popular thing for shows to kill off characters you don't expect. We haven't had that really happen in Jurassic Park.
When you watch Apocalypse movie, are you cheering for the apocalypse?
Yeah.
Are you like, yeah, let's go, meteor,
yeah, like,
hit that Earth.
Day After Tomorrow, like, get it, get them, everything.
Oh my God. We're gonna have to explore this. This will be like the through line of the podcast as we check in with your nihilistic views on how you want humanity to be destroyed every week.
Yeah, because I don't know. I'm just like Team Earth, not humans, and
you don't consider humans a part of Earth.
The bad part. That's why it's like maybe a zombie apocalypse wouldn't be that bad, because then as long as they don't eat the animals and it's just people, and then the planet can restore itself.
How is that better? How is that possibly better?
Because we're not like defiling the planet anymore with our.
You're just gonna like become like, I don't know, poison ivy. Is this her thing?
Maybe. That's why I'm like, yeah, Thanos. I can see your point, my dude.
No, Thanos is done. Here's the thing. Poison Ivy, actually correct. She can't be a villain anymore because she's just, like, right about everything. She's like Magneto, where it's just like, you look back and you're like, Magneto, kind of right about everything. Like, I wouldn't just go around indiscriminately killing people, but, like, the overall plan, pretty good plan.
Yes, I know. They don't do it. They do it in a way that makes them look crazy. That's the problem.
Yeah. Anyway, what have you been watching?
Let's see. Okay. Well, it's been a very...
Oh, do you want to do International Women's Day? Actually, hold on.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. So this last
Should we talk about International Women's Day?
Yeah, so it's International Women's Week, and then I think a specific day.
What's a week?
Yeah, it's a week-long thing.
Oh, sorry, women.
I figured, why not acknowledge it by each of us kind of mentioning our favorite female anime character. And I guess I'll start off since I already have one in mind. Well, I have two in mind, but I'm trying to think. So I'm going to do, obviously, I love Cardcaptor Sakura. And it's not very often that a protagonist is my favorite character, but Sakura Kinomoto, who's like 10 or 11, I think, in the beginning of the series. She's like a normal kind of peppy girl, but she's not in excess annoyingly happy. And also, like, she's not just boring. Like, her brother will pick on her and she'll retaliate and kind of bicker with him. It's not like she's just sweet and easygoing in all aspects. So I guess depth. And she's super cute, so that doesn't hurt either. And then my other pick is Kyoko Mogami from Skip Beat, which read the manga. Anime did not do it justice. It's like the longest running shoujo manga I own. I have like 48 volumes. It's so long because that is a lot more humorous. Like, it's really funny. And I like her because the plot of it is that she's getting revenge because she was wronged by a childhood friend. And I like love the pettiness of that. Like, bitch, I'ma come for you. So, and she's just so funny because before she was betrayed, she's super like, la la la, rosy eyed thing. So that part of her will still kind of show up every once in a while. And then it gets like destroyed by something else. It's really funny. But yeah, those are my picks. How about you, Joe?
So I got this assignment like 10 minutes ago.
So
first off, I want to say it's really hard to find like lists of cool women anime characters because you just get like a waifu list and that sucks. So I am picking. I'll also pick two because I don't know. I got two tabs open. First one is Utena Tenjo from Revolutionary Girl Utena. She owns. We love lesbians here. We love people who can sword fight. She is, I don't know. She's like really cool. I mean, she's like the main character of that show. She does a lot of stuff that's very fun and actiony, but also like it's a little bit more internality. I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure that Revolutionary Girl Utena was made by a lot of the people that made Sailor Moon. I think R was the season that was kind of dark, and then they were told basically like, no, you have to lighten it back up. So they all left and made this show. So it carries on a lot of that stuff with like a lot of interesting ideas. And Utena gets to be the expressor of a lot of those ideas about gender dynamics and how you dress and how you act and all this other stuff. And it's great. She's great.
Yeah,
that show rules.
An older one, right? So back then that was quite distinct.
Yeah. So that was a
revolutionary, you could say.
A trailblazer. I mean, it's like definitely like one of the first in that space that was doing that kind of thing. And then for my second one, because I don't know what else to pick, and I feel like I should pick more than just one. I also like Maka Albarn from Soul Eater because she wields a scythe and is cool.
Yeah, I have a
She does the scythe thing where she spins it. Yeah, because she owns, dude. It's cool.
Yeah.
She has like a big overcoat. That series is so funny.
I love Death the Kid, and it's unique, that one.
Maka's great. She's just like a big nerd, is really good at a lot of different stuff, and she's like the hope character and is like able to ground everything.
Yeah, she's cool. And she's voiced by Laura Bailey in the English dub. I love Laura Bailey.
There are probably better other picks that I will have later if I think about it more.
But
those
say,
two I'm sticking with.
I named one of I'm down to one ferret now, but I did my last ferret. Her name was Revy from Black Lagoon, which I didn't even finish, but I was like, ferrets are crazy and she's a psycho bitch, so I'm gonna name my ferret after her. She's cool, like a cool looking character. The show, I can't believe I watched it. I was probably like 16 when I watched it too, but so not my cup of tea, but she was cool. Also Claymore is just full of badass chicks. I don't know if you've watched or read it.
I have known nothing about Claymore. I'm always like, is this related to Berserk? I don't know. It looks the same-ish to me.
It's intense. Like, it's a very harsh art style. It's really cool, though. I need to get the manga. I feel like I saw the box set, but I was like, nope, that's expensive to buy the whole manga series, and I gotta have some self-control. It's cool, though, because it's just like chicks are the badasses in that show because dudes are weak-willed and turn into monsters more quickly than claymores, which are the females, which basically are these warriors that were human, get injected with like yokai blood and become hybrids. And eventually you like succumb to the madness and become a full-blown yokai. And they just found that women can hold out longer before becoming one than men that they tried with. So it's cool.
So they're using them all as tools?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like
that's kind of like a feminism, I guess.
Monster-riddled world, yeah. The characters are beautiful.
I objectify my women differently. I turn them into super weapons.
No, I mean, you still look badass.
No, I know. That's like a thing that happens in real life. I mean, that's just like what every actual person in the military is, so. And
then, okay, so as far as what I personally have been doing, it's been a busy work week. We had a new DLC launch, Ice Layer, which in the vein of Women's Week or whatever, it's based off the lair of a female villainess that has little puffin flunkies, and it's cool. Totally check it out if you like Walkabout Mini Golf. And then also yesterday we had an event and we announced that we're partnering with Wallace and Gromit to make a Wallace and Gromit themed course. Yeah. So.
Wallace and Gromit's cool.
Yeah. I knew of it. I've seen Chicken Run, but I hadn't watched Wallace and Gromit.
You haven't watched Wallace and Gromit?
No,
we should watch Wallace and Gromit.
That's
on topic. All right, maybe I'll buy a VR headset.
Hell yeah, man.
All right, so what have you been watching? Oh, sorry.
No, okay. I was going to say, so watching Traders, which is a reality TV, so I won't go into it. And then playing Horizon Zero Dawn because I need to cram that in so I remember everything for the 21st when Forbidden West comes to Steam. But it's been busy, so I haven't had as much time to do stuff. How about you, Joe? What have you been up to?
I finished 2 series. I finished Gundam Stardust Memory. Not that there's not that much to say about that. It's not that good. It looks really nice, though. Cool Gundam fights. Bad everything else. Actually, no, the Xeon stuff's pretty good. It just does the thing where it's like, this is going to be about like a romance story. Piloting the Gundam is like being a man. And it's like, I don't think you should say that. I don't think that's good. I don't think it makes a lot of sense. He kind of just dies pointlessly when you do that. Like, it's a lot of bad ideas surrounding it. But the thing that does have good ideas surrounding it is the other thing I watched, which is I watched the 12-episode OVA series Armor Hunter Mellow Link, which takes place in the Vodums universe. So I'm still on Vodums. But it's unrelated. So basically that show is about a guy named Mellow Link who was in a squad, like a military squad, that was sacrificed intentionally so that his higher ups could steal a bunch of... They were sabotaged they were sent out by their superiors to go like hold off a bunch of mechs with basically like anti-tank guns. So like just this enormous gun. It was like 30 guys fighting 50 tanks. So it's like they were absolutely going to lose the whole time, and they do like completely get wrecked. But Mellow Link survives, and what he is doing is he is going and getting revenge on all of the higher-ups that got him killed, because they were like using it as a cover to steal some like military resource for some other thing that happens in like the Vodham show. And so every episode is just like a set piece where Mellow Link is there, and there's the guy he's gonna kill, and the guy who's gonna die is like, yes, here I am at my extravagant French villa in the Riviera or whatever. Yes, Mellow Link is around. Sure hope nothing bad happens. And then every episode ends with Mellow Link totally killing that guy. And it's just like a revenge story in 12 parts, and it's very good.
I have a question.
And it gets in and it gets out.
What is... Yeah. I feel like I've looked this up in the past. What does OVA stand for?
Original video animation.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I don't see it for newer content. I feel like this is more popular maybe in the early 2000s.
Like the Attack on Titan endings would be like a thing that would normally be an OVA, in my opinion, but like it just aired on TV because it's like a super popular thing. Also, like with the whole streaming airing on TV is not that important. It's bad. Attack on Titan is not a good show.
I like the first season and then not the rest. When there's, I don't know, when it's like mystery and like, we don't know why, but then it gets into like all this world politics shit I hate.
Okay, yeah. We need to have that. We need to have a separate conversation about unpopular shonen opinions because, Attack on Titan is like pretty fun until it gets to like weird Imperial Japan apologia and then it's bad.
I just want to see people devastated by giant monster things, not like, the king and royal family, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I love to make the divine right to rule a literal thing in my universe. As much as I like politics and stuff, unless your politics are bad, in which case I think you're an idiot, so.
Okay, but that's all I've got if you want to get into Angelic Layer.
We'll get into we'll start talking about the thing.
Dude, I have so much to say.
For like so long. Okay. This is going to be a long one. Angelic Layer, Episode 9, is called Sing, Misaki, the Dais is an Idol. We open on Misaki watching TV. She sees an ad for Ringo's new album and freaks out, because that's the girl she met in the bathroom last episode. Even though she went to her concert last episode, so I don't know, I guess she just didn't get very good seats, so she couldn't actually see her.
Stupid.
God, okay. We cut to Ringo at her home eating milk and cookies like Santa Claus and watching footage of Angelic Layer matches from the tournament, where she's doing her little study hour for herself. The next morning, Misaki, Tamayo, and Kotaro are riding on the train to the Kanto qualifying games. Kotaro lets Misaki listen to Ringo's new album on his CD player, and Misaki reflects on Ringo's advice to shine on stage from last episode. At the Kanto games, we see the girls from the Peanut Gallery. That's what I'm calling them, by the way, the four. At the Tokyo tournament in the opening ceremony, and also Hatoko and Misaki are there. So we're going to be playing against each other this arc. The announcer tells us that the best 24 players from the region are gathered here, and it's a single elimination tournament, which means if you lose once, you're out. They also announce that the first match will be between Misaki and Ringo, and Misaki is surprised to see Ringo there. After the opening ceremony, Ringo catches up with a flustered Misaki. Aunt Shoko shows up, and Misaki asks if she's here for her, but she's not. Ringo tells her that she's here to interview her because Ringo tells us that Shoko is here to interview her because she is, quote, a weird idol, which is how she self-describes. Then they walk off, but Shoko rushes back to tell Misaki that, she's here for work, but she is going to watch her match. Because Aunt Shoko is very nice. Unlike another adult who's going to watch the match and not say anything. In the cafeteria, Tamayo speculates as to why Ringo plays Angelic Layer. Misaki asks to listen to her album again so she can learn about her opponent. While listening to the song, Misaki wonders why she plays Angelic Layer on top of all the other things she has going on, with, being an idol and stuff. A few tables over, Shoko asks Ringo why she's playing Angelic Layer on top of all the other stuff she's doing, like being an idol and stuff. Ringo says management doesn't like it, but she does it anyway. Misaki gets thirsty and goes to order some juice, but is surprised when she is served by none other than Ichan in disguise. Ichan asks her why she's so nervous, and Misaki tells him that she's intimidated about playing against an idol. Ichan tells Misaki that the idol of Angelic Layer is the one that shines brightest in the layer, and then he's dragged off by Ogata. In the control room, Ogata's coworker, the woman whose tag I couldn't read last time, I looked it up. Her name is Fujimori, and it's spelled with some kanji I'd never seen before, so that was like a huge pain to do.
Gotcha.
Fujimori tells him that Shuko is on leave, but is probably here at the tournament. Ichan freaks out and tells Ogata to find her, and if he doesn't, he'll name a weird-looking doll Ogatachi and sleep with it every night, because we're back to Ichan being creepy, I guess. The first match is about to begin and everybody is watching, including Ryo and the bullies from last episode, the Peanut Gallery girls, Ojiro, Shoko, and lastly Shuko. Shoko gets her cameraman to film Misaki's walk-on because she's cool. The match starts, and Misaki throws Hikaru into the lair. Ringo throws her, Angel Ranga in the lair as well. Ranga is dressed like some kind of vaguely like Middle Eastern or Indian dancer. It's kind of weird. Ranga starts doing some weird dance and starts to chip away at Hikaru's hit points because she's like combining the dance with like fighting. Ringo is hyped that Misaki isn't going to lose too quickly and starts to pump up the crowd. Ranga starts dancing more intensely and then starts sending out like shock waves from her body in a move called the Dance of Death. Misaki is confused as to how Hikaru is getting hit at a distance by invisible moves. And she starts to doubt herself in the face of Ringo, who's better than her at everything. Also, I didn't mention this, but the entire episode, Kataro's been quietly cheering for Ringo because it's his favorite idol. But now he decides to loudly cheer for Misaki by yelling, and Misaki hears it and gets all blushy, and she starts to pull together. Misaki recognizes that Ranga's attacks are actually her sending out wind at her opponent, like condensed wind blasts, but it can only go in a straight line, and she's able to use that to get Hikaru to start dodging them. Misaki asserts that even though she's a normal girl, she can shine in the lair, and we cut to Shoko watching footage of her interview with Ringo, where Ringo says that she's just a girl who loves Angelic Layer. Misaki then starts singing the song that Ringo sang to her in the bathroom from last episode, and Hikaru starts moving along with the rhythm of the Dance of Death, because they are the same rhythm. Some of the people in the crowd start cheering for Misaki as Hikaru and Ranga brawl. Eventually, Hikaru is able to knock Ranga out of the ring using the same type of kick that Suzuka uses for Rolling Thunder. Everyone cheers for Hikaru as Shuko comments that Misaki was shining brightly, and then she just leaves. The Peanut Gallery comment that Misaki must have good fighting sense if she's able to copy Rolling Thunder so easily after seeing it only one time, and Ojiro comes and tells him that he agrees. Also, the youngest member of the Peanut Gallery has a crush on Ojiro and asks for his autograph. After the match, Misaki apologizes to Ringo for hurting her angel. Ringo thinks that's funny, and she drags Misaki over to Shoko so she can get a camera shot of the two of them doing a peace sign together as we cut to credits.
Boy, oh boy, do I have a lot to say in this episode.
Okay, we'll say stuff, because that was really long. I felt like there's so much stuff. Like, the problem with this episode is that they do a lot of cuts to different things, which true. Like is cool in the episode. It's really hard to describe that in a paragraph. To make it make sense, yeah.
Last episode, she saw her in the bathroom, and then she saw her on the stage, like probably maybe an hour or less between the two encounters, and then it's not until she sees her on TV that she connects the dots. Dumb! She's a dummy! And then I said, Ranga has the same diet as me, just garbage, like just eating cookies instead of a real meal. Also, I just hate that. I mean, I don't know that this has made any improvements in anime today, but just when they have characters wear the same outfit every day, I mean, if it's your school uniform, it makes sense. Ringo in Idol, you would think she'd have a bunch of cute outfits, but she wears the same outfit.
Yeah, I think it's... So the part where Ringo goes and eats milk and cookies, it's 8 p.m. I have a note. Ringo Seto, 8 p.m., milk and cookies, watching Angelic Layer.
Also, okay, does everyone have access? Did she have her manager film? Are they even allowed to film Angelic Layer? Do they like air it on the news later or something?
Probably. I don't know. Yeah, she has some recording of it.
Yeah. And because she's watching, I don't know if she just watched all of 24 contestants footage, knowing who made it, or she somehow already knew who she was going to face off against, which Misaki didn't. So does Ringo have like these inside connections that she uses to her advantage to like prepare beforehand, knowing who she's going to fight already? Yeah, that was a thought I had.
Is like, does Misaki like Kotaro now? Like, there's some weird thing going on where it's like everybody's cheering for Ringo, and I can't tell if this is like just a general like
self-esteem
sense of feeling
issue.
Inferior because the person you're playing is more popular than you, or if it's like actually specifically Kotaro.
Yeah, because up to this point, I mean, she doesn't seem interested in him at all, and then also Kotaro didn't even see that into her last episode, and now he does.
Yeah. It's a little weird. I mean, like, this is the thing. It's one of these things where, like, Tamiyo constantly makes jokes about them, like, being love rivals and all sorts of stuff. But, like, neither Kotaro or Misaki seem to take that seriously.
No.
But then I guess maybe it is.
I mean, only when it's convenient for the sake of plot, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess this goes into what we talked about earlier. I don't remember if this is before we started recording, but that shonen romance just sucks. Yes, and this is technically a shonen, so of course they hinted romance.
Okay, but I think we're
garbage.
I think you're confusing cause and effect here. It's not like it's going to be bad because it's a shonen. Like, it's just the genre is not very good at it. I don't know if this will be a specific example of that. I just can't tell which one's which. Like, I can't, because we don't ever get any time for, like, characters to talk about their feelings toward each other. It's just, like, this vague thing of, like, is Kotaro just, like, a stand-in for your friends cheering for you or, like, people that are important for you cheering for you? Mm-hmm. Because, like, again, I mean, this kind of ties in with the whole, like, all of her mentor figures watch her from the sidelines, but they don't, like, cheer for her, like, loudly or actively or like overtly, right? Like Shuko's there watching this match, but she's never going to talk to Misaki about it. Ichan watches from the control room. Hatoko watches, but like they're not being loud and cheering and like standing up and clapping, you know?
Yeah, but it's nice to see. I mean, I think Ranga is the first not white doll we've seen. So that was a nice to see some diversity in the angels.
Yeah, I mean, not controlled by
But I mean, it's not like...
Ringo is not a...
No, she's...
like Middle Eastern
Japanese girl.
Yeah.
I mean, because maybe it's the same in video games. You don't necessarily have to make... I mean, a lot of people do, I think, replicate their characters after themselves. But that's the nice thing about games is that you can play as something that you aren't in real life. So I guess that can be applied to Angelic Layer as well.
Yeah, it would have been nicer if like they just made the actual dais.
That's true.
Have some diversity amongst the daises as opposed to just the angels.
Or if there was some, like, I don't know, like, oh, I do dance lessons, and so I really admire this culture that the dance that I'm doing for my stuff is. So I based my angel off those performers, or something like that maybe could be more interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. I would have just liked it more if we get more diversity amongst the daises themselves as people instead of the dolls. So in the opening ceremony, like it shows all the peanut gallery and they're all holding their angels except for Alice, who's just standing there. I mean, I guess I should ask this about next episode because we get more about her. Mm-hmm. But like, is she in the tournament? Why is she standing up there?
She's just like tagging along with her sister, who's the actual dais.
Okay.
Let's see. So I've complained about how like Shuko and oh Christ. Oh no.
And who?
What's Suzuka's dais name again?
Hatoko?
Both of them are so obsessed with Angelic Layer, right? Like it's their life and nothing else. And even Misaki, who's slowly becoming that, she couldn't possibly fathom someone who has other interests, like being an idol, having more than one interest, like multifaceted, you know? All or nothing.
Are you talking about the scene where she's like listening to the music and she's wondering why Ringo plays?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the note I have for that, which is like, she's sitting there listening to the song, wondering why Ringo plays Angelic Layer because she has so much other stuff going on, because she's like already popular and she already has friends. But that's because Misaki sees Angelic Layer as like the vector for her to be popular and have friends, right? Like that's how she views the utility of this game, is like, oh, this is like my chance to interact with people like as equals and we can like hang out and stuff. Whereas for Ringo, when she gives the interview with Shoko, she's basically saying that like, oh, I'm just like when I'm playing Angelic Layer, I'm just like a regular girl playing this game. So this is like Ringo's opportunity to be normal for a while. So it's more of like they're using the game for different ends. Like they get different things out of it.
Yeah. You're so deep thinking.
I think that works a little bit. Now, I will say, yes, Hatoko and Shuko both like base their entire lives around this, but it makes more sense for Hatoko, who's 5, as opposed to Shuko, who's a whole ass adult with a child, to be like, actually, the only thing in my life that matters is Angelic Layer. Although, the way they describe, like, the way that Fujimori describes how, like, Shuko is there is really weird because she shows up and she's like, oh, it's about the champion, and Ichan's like, okay. Yeah, like, what about her? Yeah, it's her day off. And she's like, oh, well, Shuko got permission to go out. Why does she have to get permission to go out?
I don't know. Is she being held hostage, I think is my note.
Yeah, like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, why is she, like, institutionalized? But she's just, like, hanging, she seems completely normal. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, it is weird, right? Because she's under such strict observation and what she has to get permission to go out. And, like, people want to control where she's going and not going. It is bizarre.
It is bizarre. I mean, we get kind of a parallel because Ringo also kind of has that where it's like, oh, she's her manager, but like she can still just like ditch and go do stuff.
Maybe the reason Shuko is a terrible mom is that she's not allowed to be with her kid.
And also, Shuko's an adult. Like, what is she going to get in trouble? She could get yelled at?
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't understand what's going on there, but hopefully we'll get more of that.
Okay, I said I don't really like Ringo. like when they're in the match and she's like talking to the crowd like, oh, let's see how much more popular I am by getting everyone to cheer for me and intimidate my opponent. Like, focus on the match.
That's not what she's doing. Oh my God.
I hate
that line is funny because
I don't like her.
Because like Hikaru is putting up, she's like dodging and stuff. This is before Rango starts shooting wave beams at her. So she's like, she's dodging through stuff. They're like having a pretty good brawl, and Ringo's like, yeah, nice. You aren't losing instantly like everybody else I fight. So I guess Ringo is also like a Hatoko where she just is like wrecking everybody in like the first 10 seconds. So then she hypes him up because she's like, yeah, we're like having a bout. Isn't this great? I don't think she's trying to intimidate Misaki. I think she's just like doing that because she's like, woo, we're having a hype game. Let's go.
I don't know. I guess she's an idol, but it just feels very like about, I don't know, it's like about her and not even her doll, her angel.
She's throwing her hands up. She's hyping up the crowd. She's pumping everybody up for like the next.
That's the MC's job.
Leg of the fight.
Missy.
Well, the MC doesn't do it. The MC just like introduces everybody and sits there. She's got to do it. It's great. Ringo's great. We love this.
No.
We love the showmanship.
Some of us love us.
Ringo knows how to put on a match, Last time Maria was the heel, and this time Ringo's like a crowd favorite, like hyping everybody up. It's good.
Nah. During this fight, I was like, does Hikaru just have more health points than others? Because she's taking so many hits and not dying, because it seems like in other fights, people's health points go down so quickly just by like one punch. How is she just, like not losing?
Like, I noticed this. It seems to me, like my interpretation of this is like when Hikaru gets hit, she's getting hit on like the arms or like the side or like things that wouldn't necessarily even like score you a point in like boxing or MMA or something. Like she's able to mitigate most of those things. Whereas when she wins her fights, like she usually wins on like one big attack, but that usually attack is like to your chin or like to your like something that would knock you out instantly in real life. So it seems like she's just getting like a critical hit, whereas everybody else is just doing like chip damage because Karu's not getting hit full on in the way that she is hitting people when she wins her matches.
Speaking of that finishing
that's my interpretation.
Get your own moves. Stop copying Hatoko, bitch. Like, I hate it.
But that's okay.
You're not cool. Rolling Thunder's only cool by Suzuka, not Hikaru.
But this is where we get, like, this is the thing that Misaki's good at, right? She is very good at on the fly.
Yeah, she's Ditto from Pokemon. Just copy everyone else because she can see it once and master it immediately. Blah, blah, blah.
Copying what... Yeah, well, because like she's been doing this, right? Like in the first couple rounds, she's been winning by using like things that Tamayo and Kataru did in real life.
Yeah.
And now she's borrowing moves from other people she's played before in matches. So like this is the thing. And, like the peanut gallery. I mean, this is like when they talk about her and Oshiro comes up. It's always like, oh, she's like really observant. She like knows how to like she understands what's going on, and that's how she wins. And I mean, like just as like a fighter, that's what she does, right? Like her entire play style is you get attacked by somebody, you figure out how they move, and then you're able to counter it. That's always what she does. She's like a counter.
She's like an Uchiha with the Sharingan to dupe, like copy whatever your opponent's doing. Nah, I don't like it.
I don't. It's goofy to me that they're asserting that angels don't use weapons, but then Ranga's able to shoot wind beams at people.
And then the whole like Athena with the wings. Like, what are the laws of angel physics? And
I'm like, what do you mean? There's no weapons. Athena shot a giant spirit bomb at her opponent. What?
Yeah, you'd think this is like martial arts, but it's confusing. The restrictions of what angels are capable of doing. And speaking of Athena and her mom, I'm like, she's only proud if Misaki wins. Like, what would have happened if she'd lost? Would she been like, ugh. No wonder.
You ascribe to such malice of everybody. You think everybody is so evil in this show. Everybody's pretty nice in this show.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
I have a couple more notes about Ringo's interview. That's pretty funny. There was one part where she says that like, oh yeah, people speculate that I use Angelic Layer to de-stress, but that's not true. I'm always stressed, basically. Because she's like, I mean, what she actually says is like, nope, I'm just always the same, whether I'm playing Angelic Layer or whether I'm being an idol. But to me, it's like, yeah, I'm always stressed. This does not help me at all.
That's like, I don't find video games relaxing. Some people do that. I don't find it relaxing.
I just have had this conversation with all of, like, I have this conversation all the time where it's like, I don't like relax in the way that like people normally talk about relaxing, you know, like sitting on a beach or like, you know, getting a massage. Like none of that stuff relaxes me. I'm always just like, I want to be doing something.
Yeah. Well, you just want to be productive with your time. Although I used to be like that, or I, you know, as a kid would wake up at 5 a.m. naturally on weekends because I didn't want to waste my weekend sleeping.
Oh my God.
But now I don't know if it's my terrible diet, but now I like nap so much. Like I just nap my problems away.
Okay. I feel like waking up at 5 a.m. just isn't the normal thing to do.
That's what I did as a kid because it's like, oh, well, I wasn't allowed to play video games during the week at my mom's house. So that was my time to play video games. So it's like,
I see.
Don't waste your time sleeping. I mean, I guess like farming sims are relaxing, like Coral Island or my time at Sandrock, but not intense AAA games.
What I'm saying is that I would play Angelic Layer if it was real to not de-stress because I can't de-stress.
It's so cool.
It'd be great. People wouldn't.
That all for episode 9?
Angelic Layer episode 10 is called The Mean Sisters and the Targeted Hikaru. We open on the third match of the first round, which is Hatoko and Suzuka versus unnamed Deus and her angel Natasha.
Suzuka cool starts angel. The match. Sorry.
Natasha looks cool. I have a note on that. Yeah. Suzuka starts the match by disappearing and then reappearing upon Natasha and kicking her so hard she's knocked out in one hit. The Peanut Gallery is annoyed that she keeps winning and vows to defeat her. Unfortunately, the two most adamant members will have to face Misaki before Hatoko, and the rest of the gallery isn't all that confident that they'll win that matchup. We cut to a match between Hikaru and some angel with spiked knuckles, and they appear to be boxing. Hikaru lands a knockout hit, qualifying Misaki for the top 8, and then after the match, Hatoko is waiting for Misaki, and she is pumped that Misaki is still in the tournament, and they still have a shot at facing each other again. Hatoko starts talking again about how age and height don't matter in Angelic Layer, and then re-ups her promise with Misaki to make it to another match in the tournament. The two most spiteful members of the Peanut Gallery are annoyed that Hatoko is so hyped. At this point, we get their names, or we get one of their names, but I just looked them both up. So the two of them are sisters. The younger one is named Alice, and the older one is named Madoka. Madoka, who's the Deus who actually has to play, affirms that they can't lose to Misaki, and Alice produces what looks like a tiny dart. Because clearly they're scheming something. We cut to outside where Misaki, Tamayo, and Kotaro are all eating lunch. Off in the distance, Ogata is still looking for Shuko from last episode. Kotaro compliments Misaki's cooking, and Tamayo tackles him, saying that he's following her dating advice, which I don't think he's actually doing. In the background, Ringo sneaks around in her terrible disguise. Misaki spots her instantly and invites her over. Ringo is astounded that Misaki recognizes her, and she and Tamayo do a comedy bit together. Mm-hmm. Ringo tells her that she was escaping from her manager and decides that they should all be friends. They start watching a match where a speed-type angel, the same type as Hikaru, named Blanche, defeats her opponent. We see that her Deus is one of the Peanut Gallery members, and her name is Kaede. In the next match, we see the other Peanut member, Sai, and her angel, Shirahime. We learn that she was last year's runner-up. She wins her match very easily, and Misaki is excited that she might get to place against some good opponents. Then Ojiro shows up. Both Ringo and Kotaro are surprised that Misaki and Ojiro know each other, and and Ringo tells Misaki that Ojiro was the runner-up in Nationals 2 years ago. Or 2 years in a row, sorry. Ojiro reminds Misaki that her match is starting soon and she should probably get back to the arena. As she leaves, he cryptically comments that she is so alike to her mother, but only Ringo notices this. Then Ringo has to run away from her manager, but not before rounding back to get one of Misaki's sandwiches, because she's like a cartoon character now. Kotaro looks over at Ojiro, and Tamayo teases him that his love rival has arrived as she starts to grapple him. Shuko sees Misaki running to the arena, but says nothing. Shoko shows up and asks why Shuko didn't say anything to Misaki. Shuko says that she can't face her yet, and Shoko teases that she could just, force them together in the same room if she wanted to, but Shuko says that she wouldn't do that.
By pushing her wheelchair.
By pushing her wheelchair. Misaki enters the lobby and sees Alice and Madoka waiting for her. Madoka introduces herself as Misaki's next opponent. Alice poses as a fan of Cool Angels and asks if she can see Hikaru. Misaki is excited to meet a fellow fan of Cool Angels and lets Alice hold Hikaru. Alice plants the pin on her. The match is about to begin, and Misaki has some new fans. The announcer introduces Madoka and her angel Mao, and we learn that she is studying Kung Fu. Hatoko is being interviewed by Hatoko is being interviewed by Shoko. God, I hate that their names are like that.
I know.
But gets distracted by the match. match. The match starts, and we learn that Mao is totally a cat girl with a tail and everything. Mao rushes in, and her and Hikaru start trading blows. Mao is winning, and Madoka comments that maybe she doesn't even need to cheat. She could just win this game normally. In the control room, Ichan explains to Fujimori that Alice, the younger sister, is a genius angel builder, and she makes the angels for her sister. Misaki starts figuring out Madoka's fighting pattern, and Hikaru starts beating Mao. Feeling cornered, Alice activates her device, which lags Hikaru, causing her to trip. Mao is able to land a hit on her while she's tripping. Hatoko, Ojiro, and Ichan immediately clock that there's some foul play going on, as Misaki wonders why Hikaru is responding so slowly. We see a worried Shuko as it looks like Hikaru is going to lose as we cut to credit.
This is an intense episode, yeah. The peanut gallery at the beginning when Madoka is trash talking Misaki. Kaede, the glasses chick, gives her the coldest ice glare I've ever seen. Because we see that she's kind of known for her, what do they call it? Healing smile. She's, so cheery looking, but then she's so stone cold looking at Madoka. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, she's she seems like a mom kind of character or something, motherly.
Nurturing.
Isn't
Blanche is like a nurse outfit.
Blanche is like a nurse, yeah. But maybe her personality doesn't match.
Or she just takes this very seriously and doesn't like that these people are doubting someone.
Or she knows that Madoka sucks and is gonna totally lose.
Yes, or that. Okay, so in this fight between Mao and Hikaru lands a Rolling Thunder, but that's not, because that's been a KO hit up to this point, but that didn't do the trick for this fight. Enough with the stealing of Rolling Thunder. Good God.
No, that's good. She should just steal everybody's moves. At the end, she should blast Athena with a giant energy ball. That would be funny.
I did like Ringo more with the terrible animated little 2D running away and her manager following her.
Oh yeah. Ringo becomes our comedy bit character for a little bit. First off, Suzuka stays winning. But her opponent Natasha actually looks pretty cool. She has this futuristic looking jumpsuit on.
I do like her design.
It's pretty good. It's better than some of the other designs.
The angels are so much better animated than the rest of the the people in the series. On the layer, I feel like a lot more effort was put in.
Yeah, it's because that's what the people came to see.
I guess. But it's what could have been if the whole show had this level of effort?
Yeah, Hikaru in her fight that she's having, the one where she's boxing, she's copying her opponent's fighting style. So this is further evidence for me that this is what she does, right? Because she starts boxing, she's pulled in, she's ducking down under punches and stuff like that. She fights nothing the way that she fought the last match against Ringo. Good stuff. I like copycat Misaki. I think that's fun. I like that her whole thing is being very observant and being able to figure out what other people are doing. She basically just downloads her enemies every time. It's great.
When they're having lunch, Misaki and Kotaro just kind of looking at each other with a little blushy blush. I just wrote, Tamaya is the biggest cock block ever. As soon as she senses any kind of connecting, she ruins the moment.
Mm-hmm. So after Misaki's match, Hatoko was waiting for her outside, and she's doing the cool guy pose.
Yeah. Leaning against
where she's
the wall.
Her back's against the wall and one of her legs is up against it, and she's just waiting for it. Oh, I didn't see you there. It's really good. Haruka's great.
I know.
She's really excited that Misaki is still winning, and they probably will get to see each other in the finals, I guess. When Alice and Madoka are doing their little scheming, they're gonna go up to Misaki right then, but then Tamayo just runs up and picks Misaki up and holds her up like she's an airplane, like she's a tiny child. It's very funny.
Back to Ringo with I feel bad for, this is a common thing in anime, right? Somebody's a manga artist or somebody's an idol, and their poor manager is always lagging behind, trying to, get them to follow schedule and stuff. But then there are bad managers too, the guy who made NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys. So then I'm I don't know. Are we team poor managers or not?
Yeah, it's in this case. It feels better to me because Ringo specifically says, she's oh yeah, I had all these days blocked off because I was expecting to stay in the tournament and not get eliminated round one. But now that I don't, my manager's scheduled all this other stuff for me to do that I don't care about. Mm-hmm. So that makes sense to me because it's oh, this is just stuff that was scheduled at the last second. Of course, she doesn't care about this.
Yeah.
I do think it's very funny when Misaki sees Ringo and Ringo's how did you know it was me? And Misaki's you're wearing the same outfit as yesterday.
Yeah. And then Tamaya's call her Misaki Chi. She's pushing the nickname so hard. The campaign of hers.
She does branding. She's done. She's doing the branding.
Yeah. We do see the footage of Blanche and Shirahime, and Blanche is so cute, and Shirahime is freaking badass. I think I have a preference because Suzuka and Shirahime are both like heavier weight dolls, I think, like larger build dolls, and they're both so cool.
Yeah. Shirahime is like wearing, you want to describe the outfit?
Shirahime is basically, it's kind of got Japanese kimono-esque. Basically, she's wearing like a bodysuit, and then she has sleeves that are like a kimono. And she's, it's like all white because they call the dais Sai, like, what do they call her? Personified ice. Some weird, basically Ice Queen, like, is her moniker because she's so stone cold, and her angel is too. Because in the fight we see, she just like, enemy angel comes and attacks her, and she just grabs her and like chucks her to the ground, and that's that. Like, she barely had to move to dominate. So cool.
Well, Shirahime, I mean, Shiro is white and Hime is princess, so she's the Ice Queen.
Screaming in the crowds too. Like, I'd be Sai's fan. She's so cool.
Yeah, it's okay. It's very funny though. The opponent Shirahime's fighting is like a weird Harlequin.
Oh yeah.
With like the pointy hat, like the little two points coming out of the hat. It's like the juxtaposition here.
Yeah, the random like unimportant angels that they design are funny.
She's like the coolest, most stoic angel, and she's fighting an actual clown.
And then Ojiro comes up to them while they're eating lunch, and I'm like, is he hitting on what? He's gotta be like 16, right? He's almost like flirting with a 12-year-old. I'm like, that's concerning. And then later when Misaki goes up and there's like people screaming her name, and some adult ass man is saying like, I love you, Misaki. I'm like, ooh, creepy.
Oh my god, these are people just cheering for stuff, okay?
I can twist anything to be negative.
I can make everything bad if I'm in my mind. I can't believe Ojiro shows up and doesn't mention that he knows your mom. He knows your mom. He calls your mom by her first name. What?
That's confusing.
Insane. He is an insane man. I cannot believe he just doesn't say anything. It's not a love triangle. Stop saying that.
It is. Misaki, her mom, and Ojiro love triangle. Although now I'm confused because she seems like she likes Kotaro now. This episode, there's some contradicting things in these episodes.
There's some stuff happening. It's tough, you know. I have some comments about Ranga. First off, apparently Ranga is like a derogatory term for redheads in Australia.
Is it?
Or not? I mean, it's for redheads. It's not like a slur. I think it's just like a negative term.
Okay. Like dumb blonde, maybe equivalent?
I guess. But it's supposed to be, I guess it's a play off of like orangutan, and they're like orange.
Oh.
And so it's like you're calling them like a monkey guy.
Okay. Good to know.
But the reason I bring that up, I looked that up at this point because I'm like, it's kind of a weird name. I wonder if that's anything. It is. But Ringo says, like, at one point, Misaki's like, oh, is Ringo okay? And Ringo's like, oh, yeah, she just needed her outer skin changed. What? They have outer skins? You can change their outer skin?
The angels?
Yeah, that's what she says. She's like, oh, yeah, her outer skin just had to be changed. And I'm like, that's gross. Are you, like, peeling off the skin?
Yeah, that is gross.
What's going on? How do you assemble these things? It looks like they just come out pre-made, but, like, are you actually putting on skin?
I guess if they're, like, little androids where it's all machinery and then just, like,
is she, like,
soft
pulling her skin
exterior.
off? Like
it's like Terminator.
Ex Machina? Is it, like...
I don't know. And she's embarrassed at one point, and even then she's like, meow. Like, she does the cat sound even then.
Oh, she does the cat sound. Yeah. That's her surprise noise. Okay, so I'm confused. I'm confused about how all of this works. So, in Hatoko's match, she makes it to the semifinals. So that's the top 4. Mm-hmm. And then Sai clearly also makes it, and Kaede make it. So I guess it's Madoka and Misaki for the 4th slot. Right. Even though it kind of comes out of order. Also, if you have 24
that happened real fast
combatants, that doesn't lead to like a tournament. Like, it needs to be a multiple of 2 for that to. But also, okay, so if Ojiro won the Kansai Games 2 years in a row, that means he beat Hatoko, which means Hatoko must lose to Sai.
Yeah. Oh, because they were saying Sai was the runner.
That's what they said.
Did she say she's the second runner-up or just the runner-up?
Well, I don't know, because they say this is the Kansai Games, but they're at Kanto right now, right? And then they talk about nationals, and he's the runner-up in nationals because Shuko is the champion. But I don't understand, because is there another tournament after this? I feel like there isn't.
I don't know. No.
Or maybe there is. I don't know.
You know what? If in this world of Angelic Layer, is it only in Japan? You would think that maybe this would be popular everywhere and then there'd be like a World Series or something. Also, so in the vein of like how this is run, does the winner like get anything? Like money, a prize?
Well, apparently you get held hostage and you have to ask permission to leave.
That's true. Where you think it's a good thing, but it's bad when you win.
Let's see. My next note, all caps. Shuko, talk to your daughter. She does not.
Nope. Madoka has the most dynamic angel call yet, because she like does all these like kung fu punches when she's like saying her little entry call. Because everyone else has just like said it and chucked it, but she like is making actions as she does it.
I like how she just makes a cat girl. Like Mao is just a cat girl with like Saiyan armor from Dragon Ball Z.
That seems to be the theme, because we see, I don't remember if it shows this or if it's the next episode, but I know that this is like not their first angel. Like apparently if the angel loses, like it did to Suzuka, they just scrap it and start anew. And so I think this Mao is similarly designed. So that seems to be the thing. The sisters have the kung fu kind of esque aesthetic with the ears and tail. But it is weird that it's like one makes the doll and one plays the dais.
Yeah, Ishan comments on this saying that like, oh yeah, last year Alice made this. Yeah. And like, yeah, because Madoka doesn't make her own doll.
She doesn't have the connection.
She's like not as good as using it because she doesn't like understand how it's made.
Also, Madoka is such a Japanese name, and Alice is so Western.
It's like a Western name.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's like the Japanese katakana version of Alice, so it's like Arisu. So it's just like it's not even who are your parents? How are they naming their kids? What's going on?
Well, I'm sure they sucked. Like all the other parents in Angelic Layer.
They also have terrible, just like Maria's parents, they have terrible tastes in names.
Yes. I like the name Madoka. That's in a manga. Although I feel like it's always like a villain, or it's like the mean girl name. It's always a mean girl that I've seen that name used.
I just know it from Madoka Magica, where that's the name character's name, and she's very nice.
I haven't watched that because apparently it's very sad, and I don't want that.
Yeah, it is sad.
Is that technically shoujo? Are we going to cover that? That's like horror
it's
or
not.
something.
It's magic girls, but it's like
scary.
definitely like, what if magic girls were dark?
Yeah.
But it actually is good. I like that one. I don't like the other dark magic girl stuff. I think it's bad. It's not scary.
It seems scary. Like unsettling.
Yeah, I think you're so doom and gloom about all of this. You're like giving everybody the worst, like the least charitable reads you can.
I'm a negative Nancy.
I know. We already got past the Sarah nihilism hour about how you want humanity to be destroyed this week.
Maybe as we consume more fluff, it'll purify my soul.
Oh, okay, sure.
Okay, whenever it dawns on all the folks that something is awry, like cheating is happening, Ojiro in the crowd says something along the lines of like, oh, looks like some kind of naughty trick is happening. I was like, oh God, you saying naughty is like kind of pervy. Like, I don't like you using that terminology.
Okay.
Oh.
Why are you reading into this like Ojiro is like a weird creep? He's not.
Maybe it's because I know something about him that you don't.
Oh, cool. Can't wait to learn this.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, I had to go back and mention all of the times when Alice had a crush on Ojiro because I watched the like next time thing. And like there's a part where he goes and talks to her and I'm like, oh shit, like I have to include this retroactively in my previous summaries. Ringo, she seemed to know a lot about the contestants, so she was telling Misaki and that he's called the young nobleman of the layer or something. Yeah. So he's, I guess, just the only guy, the male fixation of the Angelic Layer scene. Is he gonna turn out to be creepy? I don't like this. I don't like. No, like you've been joking about it being like a weird. It's not. It's really. It's just there's relationship like a small with Shuko, thing. And I was just assuming that was a joke. I don't know when they reveal it. If this takes a turn, I'm gonna be so bummed. It's not like you're particularly attached to him. No, but like I don't want the show to be weird. It's been nice so far. Yeah. I got like goosebumps. I was kind of like excited. Yeah, I guess the cliffhanger, but I was like, yeah, it was a good ending, and I'm excited for the next episode. I'm worried for Hatoko though. Why? Because she's badass. She's in the semifinals, right? But it's like if Misaki's gonna fight the other ones, then she's gonna lose.
Oh, you mean if Misaki... Okay, you're assuming Misaki is just gonna beat everyone, so...
Yeah, because we foreshadowed Kaede and Sai so much that it's like, well, she's probably gonna have to fight both of them, but that means Hatoko's gonna lose and they're not gonna get their rematch.
You're so perceptive, Joe.
I mean, there's also like a million... how many episodes left are there? 16?
We're not even halfway. Next episode will be halfway through the series.
It's good. It's good so far. The show's good.
Yeah, it's heating up. It's getting more intense. I'm excited because, this is where it's more skilled. Like, everyone's better at this level. So it's going to be more about the fight itself and not external factors like the insecurity about an idol or like having fun playing. Like, it'll be more intense. Like, everyone's in it to win it at this point. So it's, it'll be more focused on the fighting, which will be super cool.
We do the recommendations first. What do you recommend? Sarah, what do you have to recommend the people when they're not watching the newest episodes of Angelic Layer?
I'm going to recommend something near and dear to my heart. I'm going to recommend Persona 3 Portable, not reloaded, because you can't play as the female protagonist, which is a fan favorite and is stupid and I hate it and I refuse to play it because of that. But Persona 3 Portable was re-released on like all the things last year, and it's a more visual novel style of the Persona 3 game. And it's how I got into Persona, you got into Persona. I lent you my Persona 3 Portable PSP copy. You played that, and then now we've been Persona fans ever since. But it's got killer, like the music is so good. It's so good. And it's just it's a long game, so.
It's a long game.
It's really good,
It's an RPG.
I immensely enjoy it and recommend it. Ta-da!
So I am recommending an anime this time on our anime podcast. I've been watching Frieren, Beyond Journey's End.
Oh, that's the one with the elf chick, right? She's cute.
Yes. So this is a series that is about an elf named Frieren who is like, has like, it's like a high fantasy world. So elves have like a century-long lifespan or something. And she was part of the like party of heroes that like defeated the Demon King or whatever 80 years ago. And then she just kind of wandered around after that. And then she kind of like went back and realized that like, oh, all of my like former compatriots like got old and died while I was off doing other stuff. And it's kind of like it's a very nice like series. It's basically like about how you should spend the time actually befriending your friends and like how to spend time with people and how to make things that like actually matter to you and to like invest in relationships and not just being aloof all the time. And
so is it kind of like slice of life that just happens to be in a fantasy setting? Like is it combat heavy or is it mostly just relationships?
There is. I mean, like the kind of inciting incident of like what Frieren's doing and like the A plot like right now is about she like regrets that she didn't spend more time with like the main party hero guy Himmel, and she learns about a place where you can go and talk with the dead. That's like super far north near like the demon territory. I mean, he definitely did for her, whether she did or not, kind of up in the air, kind of unclear. She's like pretty aloof about the whole thing. And so like she wants to go and like talk with some of like her old dead comrades essentially. So she's traveling up there with like one of her
new companions. Oh, never mind.
Old members, like apprentice,
someone connected to someone.
Adoptive daughter. Okay. So she's traveling with her and like another one that's like the other guy's protege. So it's kind of like she's hanging out with the next generation of some of those. Except, she's like the mentor and she's like, being a mentor is kind of weird. And so there's just like a lot of stuff going on there. So there is like, there is like some fighting, like they fight some demons and they do some stuff, but it is also just kind of like about hanging out and what it's like to be in a party, traveling with people, like in a little adventuring squad and like taking the time to get to know everybody and not just like going through the motions like she kind of did last time. And so that's pretty fun. I think it's really good. It's really well thought out. Much more character depth than I think you normally would expect in this kind of thing. So, Frieren, it's good.
Yeah, it seems popular. I've been seeing early Crunchyroll seems to be promoting it a lot on their socials. Now we can get into our new Apple Podcast review.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please rate it on whatever podcast platform you are listening to this on that allows ratings, which I'm pretty sure is all of them. Please rate us 5 stars. If you rate us 5 stars and leave a comment on Apple Podcasts. I will read it, most likely, unless you're saying some stuff I'm not going to read on the podcast at this and during this section. So, a recent review we got is from Caitlin BB1234. Caitlin says, charming and funny podcast. Love this podcast. It's rare to find a good anime podcast. Sarah and Joe have great chemistry and really bounce off each other. I feel like I'm listening to a conversation with my friends. I look forward to hearing all about other shoujo animes they cover. Highly recommend listening. 5 stars. Thank you. Caitlin BB1234.
Oh, could that be?
Who knows? Could be anybody. Could be me.
That's the first one.
I already left a comment. I left a comment that just says love to see it because I don't think it matters what you write down. And also, I'm not going to read that. So
okay. But no, it's not. It's my sister.
But you should.
And she's essentially, because she's been telling me on the side, like, hey, you should cover Kami-sama Kiss as your next series. Because I think she just wants it. Because she watched Angelic Layer, but I don't think it's one of the ones she likes as much. But I know she just selfishly is trying to get me to pick what her next one's going to be. I think I'll do a poll on our Instagram or something about what series we should cover next.
I think we should really try to
do an actual shoujo. That'd be advisable.
Become pop. Yeah, I think we should do a real shoujo show. I think we should live up to the expectations of the show. I think we should pick one that like people like. But we also I like to keep the depth of it. I don't like to just like.
Well, you're very good at actually. I'm just shitting on everything, but you are actually like doing deep thoughts, and I'm just like, what if the worst case scenario is happening? That's my contribution to our discussions. Yeah, so we'll finally be at the halfway mark next episode.
Halfway.
Hopefully you guys are enjoying the ride.
If you have any questions.
Yeah, you can email us at shoujopod@gmail.com, spelled the same way as the series or podcast title. Yeah, if you're like, Sarah, you're really bumming me out with all your stuff.
People may not know, we record over distance.
I know it just feels like we're riffing so well as if we're in the same room, but no, when
you've been friends for so long, it just appears that way.
Yeah, I think I commented on the podcast subreddit, but
there's a subreddit.
Yeah, I'm trying to network here. Okay, I'm trying to make this a success.
Oh, okay. I thought you made a subreddit for us.
No.
What?
Podcasting subreddit, not us specifically.
Okay. Yeah. See, I'm so glad you're like a social media manager. I would never be able to do this stuff.
I'm on it.
If you need any like natural language processing AI, that's where I can be of use using my profession.
Hell is that?
It's what I do. It's good time.
Oh dear. Okay. But yeah, I was streaming. You were there, and we were saying, oh, we really got to do something because we haven't, we can't physically hang out anymore. And we haven't gamed in a while.
Yeah, because I lost my body in the war 10,000 years ago. And I am an evil spirit that is inhabiting.
You're living my dream of leaving this hellhole that I live in. And
what, Texas? It's not that hard to leave Texas.
It's so hot. I know. This week I had a moment where I was like, I wrote down a bunch of things about what it's like living in Indianapolis, because that's not far from you, and the rent is so cheap. And apparently the winters are only in the mid 20s to 30 degree Fahrenheit, which seems lovely to me.
Do you want to know what the temperature is right now?
Yes, tell me.
49 degrees.
Oh, see, that's lovely. It was freaking 87 degrees this week in March.
Yeah, sorry you live in an oven.
Oh, I hate it.
You live on a hot plate.
It makes me mad. Yeah, I gotta get out of here. Someday, my dream of leaving Texas will come true. But yeah, we started the podcast just as a way for us to keep in touch. And this is something that I've had a lot of fun working on, and I've put a lot of time into.
This has been fun, and we're gonna keep doing this.
Yeah,
forever. Until we watch every shoujo anime ever.
Well, not many are coming out anymore, so there is an end at some point.
We're gonna die. We're gonna be on our deathbed, and I'm gonna be like, oh, I gotta record the last episode of...
I can't let down our top listeners, me and you. We need to listen to. I need this.
It's true. I'm tired of listening to other people. I need to listen to me more.
That's right.
I need to remember that I have fun sometimes.
We're so charming. How could you not? It'd be devastating if we ever ended.
Well, anyway, until next time, Don't hand your doll over to some weird girl, even if she wants to hold it, before you're about to have a big match. Don't just hand over Hikaru. It's Hikaru. What are you doing?
Trust no one.
Trust no one.
That's right. Shoujo. Expect the worst out of humanity.
Learn how we want humanity to die next week by tuning in.
Yes. If dinosaurs won't do it, we'll have to find something else.
I'm going to say biblical flood.
All right. See you guys later.